Sate, welcome. We are diving deep today, really deep, back into ancient Persia. We're looking at one of the world's oldest and maybe most influential spiritual revelations, Zoroastrianism.
And our mission, really, is to try and unpack the idea of Ahura Mazda, the supreme god in this faith. We want to explore that divine light, that wisdom. Think of this as your shortcut to understanding a really crucial concept, one that shaped a lot more than you might think.
It absolutely did. And the name itself tells you so much right away. Ahura Mazda. It literally means the wise lord.
The wise lord. Not a god of war or storms, but wisdom.
Precisely. It sets the stage immediately. This isn't about raw power in the physical sense. It's about intelligence, light, truth. He's positioned right from the teachings of Zarathustra, or Zoroaster, as some call him, as the source of all goodness, all creation.
Okay, so the wise lord. That feels quite profound, doesn't it? More than just like the head god in a pantheon. When we dig into the sources like the Avesta, their sacred texts, what does it tell us about his actual nature? How is he defined?
Well, the Avesta presents Ahura Mazda not just as a god, but as the one eternal reality, the uncreated creator.
The uncreated creator.
Yeah, he's described as the creator of all that is, fundamentally. But more than that, his very essence is defined as pure intelligence, boundless light, infinite goodness. It's fascinating because his core nature isn't about dominance, but about, well, perfect wisdom and morality.
Pure intelligence.
Yeah.
So how does that work? Does this supreme intelligence directly interact with the world?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it more abstract?
That's a great question, and it gets into some of the, let's say, elegant complexity of the system. Ahura Mazda, as this pure, perhaps unmoving intelligence, doesn't necessarily micromanage everything directly. His will, his creative power often manifests through what are called the Amesha Spentas.
Amesha Spentas, holy immortals.
Exactly. But think of them less as separate gods and more like, well, divine attributes or archangel-like emanations of Ahura Mazda himself. They embody his perfect qualities. Things like Vohumana, that's good mind, Asha Vahishta, highest truth or cosmic order, Kshathra Virya, desirable dominion or righteous power.
So they're like facets of his being.
Kind of, yes. They're the principles that structure reality according to his wisdom. And importantly, these qualities are also seen as potentials within humans. So where you find truth, good thinking, order, that's where Ahura Mazda's presence is manifest. It's the living principle of divine consciousness at work.
That really deepens it. And it leads us straight into maybe the most famous part of Zoroastrianism, this idea of cosmic duality.
Yeah.
Good versus evil, right? One of the earliest clear frameworks for it.
Absolutely central. This duality is, you could argue, why the faith had such a massive historical impact. Existence itself is framed as this grand stage, a battleground between two fundamental opposing principles.
Which are Asha and Druj. Asha is everything Ahura Mazda stands for. It's truth, it's righteousness, cosmic order, the way things should be. It's the underlying principle of reality, the divine order.
Right. And opposing it is Druj. This represents falsehood, deception, chaos, decay, basically the lie. It's embodied by this figure called Angramanyu, or sometimes Ahriman, the destructive spirit.
But hang on. If Ahura Mazda is supreme, the creator, infinite goodness and all that, why allow Druj, this destructive force, to even exist? Doesn't that sort of limit him?
And that's the crucial point, the real genius of Zarathustra's thought, perhaps. The duality isn't really ontological meaning. Ahura Mazda didn't create Angramanyu as an equal opposing god. Ahura Mazda is supreme. The duality is primarily ethical.
That's sickle, meaning?
Meaning it's about choice. Angramanyu represents the wrong choice, the destructive path, the negation of Asha. Ahura Mazda, in his wisdom, allows this opposing force to operate because the cornerstone of his creation, especially humanity, is free will.
Free will. That's the key. So this isn't about just accepting fate or being puppets.
Not at all. That's the aha moment, like you said. Zoroastrianism isn't about blind submission. It hinges entirely on conscious choice.
So the world is like a proving ground.
Exactly. A place where the destructive spirit, Druj, tries to corrupt Ahura Mazda's good creation. And every single soul is invited, even obligated to choose. Are you going to align with Asha, with light and truth? Or with Druj, darkness and deception? Your thoughts, your words, your actions, they all contribute to this cosmic struggle.
And you can really see the echoes of that down through history, can't you? This idea of a moral battle, a choice. It feels foundational for so many later religions.
It absolutely was foundational, groundbreaking for its time. Concepts that seem obvious to us now, linear history moving towards a climax, final judgment, heaven and hell, even a specific adversary figure like Satan.
I know.
Many scholars trace the detailed development of these ideas back to Zoroastrian influence on Judaism during the Babylonian exile, and then into Christianity and Islam. Yeah, Ahura Mazda, through Zarathustra, gave the world one of its first detailed pictures of an ultimate cosmic battle, ending with a final renovation of the universe, resurrection, and the triumph of good.
Okay, so we're active participants. Every thought, word, and deed matters in this cosmic war, essentially. How do people show their alignment with Ahura Mazda? What does that look like in practice?
Well, that brings us to the powerful symbolism of light. Light isn't just a symbol, it's seen as the closest physical thing to Ahura Mazda's pure essence. And you see this most clearly in the reverence for fire.
The eternal flames in their temples, the Atash Baram.
Precisely. But it's crucial to understand, and Zoroastrians are very clear on this, they don't worship the fire itself.
Right, it's not fire worship.
No, the fire is revered as a symbol, the purest physical representation of Ahura Mazda's light, his truth, his energy. It's ever-burning, purifying, incorruptible. It requires care, respect, because it's a constant visible reminder of that divine intelligence. When a Zoroastrian stands before that flame, it's meant to be a moment of intense focus, a reminder of the inner light, the far that spark of divine consciousness or glory is said to reside within every person. The outer fire helps you connect with the inner fire.
So it turns the focus inward then. It's not just about appeasing an external god, but about cultivating that divinity within yourself.
Exactly. And that fits perfectly with what Ahura Mazda actually asks of people. It's remarkably unritualistic in some ways compared to other ancient faiths.
What does he ask for, that?
Right, living, truthfulness, purity of intention. It's about actively working to promote Asha, order, truth in your own life and in the world, constantly pushing back against the chaos and deception of Druj. The emphasis is really on the moral quality of your being, your thoughts, your impact.
Which leads us to that beautiful, simple core teaching. All this complex cosmology, this cosmic struggle, kind of boils down to a very practical triad, doesn't it? It really does. It's the ethical heart of the faith, and it sounds simple, but living it is the challenge. Good thoughts, good words, good deeds. Humata, hukta, harshta in the Avestan language. Good thoughts, good words, good deeds. If you connect that back, good thoughts seems primary, like the inner battle starts there.
Absolutely. The thought is the seed. If the intention, the thought, is pure, aligned with Asha, then the words and actions that follow should naturally be constructive, truthful, beneficial. It makes divinity something you practice every single moment, in your mind, in your speech, in how you treat others.
So if you're, thinking harmful things, you're already siding with Druj.
In a very real sense, yes. According to the philosophy, you're contributing to the lie, the chaos, even if you haven't acted outwardly yet. That's why the true follower is sometimes described as a warrior of light.
A warrior of light.
Yeah, but fighting primarily an internal battle. Fighting ignorance with wisdom, fighting cruelty with compassion, fighting chaos with constructive action and order. It's an active, ongoing spiritual effort.
And Zarathustra's vision, from what I understand, wasn't just for one people. It was quite universal for its time, seeing the world as, what was the phrase? A cosmic classroom.
Yes, a cosmic classroom, which is such an optimistic way to view existence, isn't it? Every challenge, every interaction is seen as a lesson, an opportunity for the soul to learn, to grow, to choose Asha, to move closer to truth and love, guided by Ahura Mazda's principles. The idea is that we were created to choose goodness freely, and by doing so, we help bring about the eventual triumph of light. When you step back, Ahura Mazda's core message really does feel universal. It's sort of beyond just one religion. It's this timeless call, to wake up that inner light, to recognize that the fundamental truth, the wisdom behind everything, is accessible to us through ethical living, through conscious choice, through taking part in making the world more orderly, more truthful.
So as we wrap up here, the core idea seems incredibly relevant, doesn't it? Whether you adhere to Zoroastrianism or not, the takeaway is powerful. Every time you consciously choose kindness instead of anger, or honesty when deceit is easier, or strive for clarity when confusion seems simpler.
You're participating in that principle. You're aligning with Asha. You're, in a sense, serving the ideal that Ahura Mazda represents. And that action, that daily choice, connects back to the ultimate purpose described in the faith. To polish that inner light, to become a clearer reflection of the divine wisdom and goodness, and in doing so, to help perfect the world. It's about becoming a mirror for that light. So here's something to really chew on. If every single thought, word, and action tips the scale in this cosmic balance between Asha and Druj, order and chaos, just reflect on that. How much power do your everyday intentions and choices actually hold? You're not just a bystander, you're an active player, every single day. The choice, as Ahura Mazda teaches, is always yours. Go forth and, well, illuminate.